Free audio post-production by alphonic.com.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the Chibi Trainer Pokémon Podcast, where we talk all things Pokémon, from the games to the TCG and plushes, everything in between. Thank you for returning. Hello again. Thank you so much for coming back. Thank you to the new subscribers as well. Thank you for all the new listens. It's been great to kind of see the podcast kind of, even without the episodes going up, still see some listens, some downloads. We've seen a lot of activity. It was like plus 200% like on normal, even without me putting out like weekly episodes during the move, during the break, during every like normal life kind of thing, which was really, really great. Actually, that was fantastic. So thank you so much for the support anyway. And yeah, thank you for joining me on the newer venture of this podcast. But now today's episode is all about something that's been getting a lot of attention recently, from myself included. I know I'm addicted to this, but it feels like there's so much we don't understand about it yet, and it is Pokopia. Now, Pokopia is the new game for the Nintendo Switch 2, and if you don't know, we'll go through that later on, but depending on how the game plays out, I think Pokopia might actually be one of the most important Pokemon releases we've seen for a long time, and I think it could really define what Pokemon looks like for the years to come. Now, in this episode, we're going to break down what Pokopia actually is, what makes it different, and whether or not this could be a glimpse into the future of Pokemon games. I think there's a lot to unpack with Pokopia. I don't think it's something that is a standalone. It could be, but I think we've got a lot more to unpack here. So let's dive into today's episode, and subscribe if you aren't already, and let's dive in. Alright, so before we dive into today's topic of Pokopia, let's take a quick look at what's been happening in the Pokemon world. This is the Pokemon news for this week. So we've got a lot of little updates going on. We've got the next set for Pokemon TCG Pocket. Now, I love the Pokemon TCG Pocket app. It's probably next to Instagram, next to TikTok, probably my most used app. And I love the idea that you can kind of just enjoy the TCG, enjoy the art without actually spending any money. That's a great win. You can obviously spend money. I don't. I just enjoy the free version of everything. When it comes to things like this, just because it's an expensive hobby anyway. But the article on Pokemon, the UK website, says get ready to battle with new Pokemon and support cards debuting in Pokemon Trading Card Game Pocket. The latest expansion, Pulsing Aura, launches on Monday, April 27th, 2026 at 6 p.m. PDT. So that is 2 p.m. On the day of release in the UK. But this, I am recording this actually on the day of release, but it's not actually, we're past that time. It's not actually on the app yet, which is super bizarre. So they might be having a little bit of an issue. But look forward to the debut of Mega Lucario EX, Mega Sceptile EX, and a variety of Pokemon known to train hard for those crucial moments in battle. New trainers known as such as Karina and Arena of Antiquity are coming through to give players the upper hand too. And it looks like some great cards. There's a Mega Lucario one, there's a Vaporeon EX as well that looks so good. There's a Kubfu illustration art which looks absolutely adorable. There are also some new card styles with Aura Farming set of covers, backdrops featuring Melucario, available Thursday, April the 30th. So there's some new stuff coming as well for the coming days. But we've also got some new stuff with the release of Pulsing Aura. So this is, starting with Pulsing Aura, gold frames will be available as a type of flare for common, like 1 diamond, 2 diamond, and 3 diamond rarity cards in each series. You can automatically obtain a gold frame if you collect 10 of the same card, and gold frames will be retroactively granted for cards that you already own 10 or more of. So you can get this really cute like little gold foil cover like frame thing. It looks really, really nice actually. I always forget that flare is even a thing in this game, so I don't kind of sit and retroactively kind of add that kind of stuff, but it's great if you do. It's a really nice little event. New Elite deck gift missions will be available from April to the end of July. This new Elite deck is a Fire-type deck featuring Mega Charizard Y EX from Crimson Blaze and Moltres EX from Genetic Apex. We've also got some new events. We've got like a good calendar actually of events, which is really, really cool. There will be a myriad events that you can participate throughout April and May to help expand your collection. So it says from late April to early May, celebrate a year and a half of Pokemon TCG Pocket with the special event 2026. Take on special solo battles to obtain promo cards and complete missions to get Zygarde EX, accessories, and more. The Zygarde EX looks so cool. From April to late July, so complete handy card collection missions to obtain useful trainer cards that can turn the tide of battle, such as May, Cypress, and Giovanni. I bet the Giovanni card looks awesome. Early May, during the Community Week event, missions will be available where you can trade and share cards to obtain trade hourglasses, special accessories, and other rewards. Then we've got early to mid-May, battle in the Pulsing Aura Emblem event to earn emblems that you can set on your player profile and complete missions to earn useful items as well. Mid to late May, so the last set we've got is complete solo battles to earn B Series Volume 8 promo packs during the Mega Heracross EX drop event and collect Trico and Galay promo cards during a Wonder Pick event. We hope you enjoy this absolute haymaker of an expansion trainers. So I think they're going a lot harder with this one. They know how popular Lucario is. I think they are fully aware of how popular that Pokemon is, and I love that Pokemon. I'm not gonna lie, I think he's really strong. One of my favorites in any game, I think, to be honest. So a lot going on for Pokemon TCG. But we've also got some news for TCG Pocket as well, funnily enough. So this one is search for treasure during Sableye's gem hunt in Pokemon Pokopia. This one was rumoured and it looks absolutely spot on. It's exactly how they kind of rumoured it. Pokemon Pokopia is all about making new friends, and the Sableye Gem Hunt event brings a new Pokemon pal to your town from April 29th at 5 a.m. to May 14th, 2026, 4:59 local time. That's AM. Sableye will appear near rebuilt Pokemon centers, and you can befriend it to receive a request to collect red crystal fragments, which you can find on the Dream Island. So you can head to a Dream Island with any doll and collect as many red crystal fragments as you can find. When you return home, bring those fragments to Sableye at the Pokemon Center to exchange them for themed items, including furniture, build kits, and more. As the event is over, Sableye will stick around your town with your other Pokemon friends, so much like the Hop-Up Jumpluff kind of event. So they'll be just in your Pokedex then, they'll be around your town. So it looks really cool, I have to say. There's a little screenshot of what the items are. There's a rebuild thing. There's like a build kit, and I'm itching to know what that build kit is. There's gem fragments, there's a little backpack, a camping chair kind of thing, a lantern, some gems that float above a bit like string lights kind of thing, a sleeping bag, a lantern, which I cannot wait to put in my ghost type island. That looks so good. That's going to look so good on my island. A little map thing and a little camera as well. So it's very like camping vibes. So it's a little bit different to what I thought it would be. But there's so many items I think will look so good in like different areas of my island. So I'm really excited to kind of get on with this event. Sableye is a ghost type Pokemon, so I cannot wait to have Sableye all over my Pallet Town. If anyone does follow me on Instagram or TikTok, I'm doing a ghost type series where I'm turning Pallet Town into like a big ghost town. Usually we have like a little ghost area in most Pokemon games, and I'm turning the whole town of Pallet Town, whole kind of map, into a ghost type area. So if you don't already check that out, do go check it out. It's really cool. But yeah, there's a lot going on. They've obviously got the 30th anniversary still going on as well. But without any of that, we've already kind of touched on it now. But let's get into Pokopia. because this is where things get really interesting and super cozy. So what actually is Pokopia before we dive any further? So from what we've seen so far, its platform is the Switch 2. It's an interactive, social, experimental kind of game. So it's not a traditional mainline game for the Pokemon franchise or series of games. A little bit like Animal Crossing meets Pokemon. And that's exactly the kind of best way to describe this game. It's probably the coziest Pokemon game you'll ever play. And it's one where you'll go on to play 5 minutes and a full day has passed. I feel like I've experienced that so many times. But it's one that I think is one of the most addictive Pokemon games ever, if not. I think this gives me the exact same vibe, and it's the exact same kind of energy that Animal Crossing gave us years ago. And that came out just before the 2020 lockdowns. So, that was at peak time. Really, everyone was stuck inside playing games, but this one gives that same kind of vibe without the lockdown, if you see what I mean. And I think this is where Pokopia kind of stands out. It's a lot more immersive not particularly more immersive than a normal Pokemon game, but I feel like it leans a lot closer to Pokemon Go, Animal Crossing, and it gives you that kind of vibe where actually we start to see our proper impact in the game immediately reflected. If we're building the habitats for these Pokemon, how happy are they? Do they need other stuff? Do they need more stuff to become super happy? Their happiness and their life is essentially in your hands without being super dramatic, but their life is in your hands as the Pokemon trainer or as the player. I don't want to give too much away if you've not played it yet, but if you've not played it yet, I'm not going to give anything away, but there is a storyline. Animal Crossing doesn't particularly have a main storyline, which is where Pokemon Pokopia does differ. We have a Pokemon storyline. There is quite a heartfelt, emotional storyline to this game, which I was really surprised at. I have to be honest, I did not think this game would have anything like the storyline that it does. But that's a really nice surprise, to be honest. It's a really nice surprise to kind of have that undercurrent of this character's here for this reason, this character's here for this reason, and you're doing this because of this. There's a really nice edge to it and a really nice idea to it. I think there's something super interesting with Pokopia. We've seen a lot of events. This is the second event that we've mentioned, which is the Sableye event, and it comes actually not long after the Jumpluff event. I think that's interesting. Are we going to see like an event a month? Potentially, that could be really cool. I like the idea of an event a month. I think that would be really cool. Right now, there's a little event for the jump rope event for Bulbasaur, so you can earn like a little trophy, you can earn some little berries, things like that. It kind of keeps it fresh. It's been out 2 months nearly now, and I think Pokemon know that sometimes games can get a little bit either intimidating, or they can get a little bit, okay, I'm done now. I'm kind of done. I've got no other kind of aim now. But I think with these events, it's immediately going to bring you back. You kind of need to come back to get Sableye. You have to do this timed event, and then you'll kind of get more addicted to it because you're doing stuff. They know what they're doing. They know exactly what to do. They know what they're doing with us. But I also wonder, how does Pokemon evolve this? If you pardon the pun, how do they evolve this game even further? We've got the base of the game. It's based in Kanto, and we've got a mix of generational Pokemon. We've got a real mix of Pokemon. It's based in Kanto essentially, but it's not actually only Kanto Pokemon. And I'm really happy for that. I don't get me wrong, I love the Kanto Pokemon. They're iconic. They're what started the whole franchise. But I love further generations more. Gen 5 is my favourite one, so I was so happy to see a lot of Gen 5 Pokemon in this game. There's so many of them, and it's fantastic to see so many generations shown and celebrated in this game. But I wonder, how far does that go? How far are they going to make it go? We got these events, and it seems like these events were running pretty commonly, to be honest. It looks like they'll be getting a lot of events here or there going on pretty regularly throughout the calendar. We've got a lot going on. We've just had the Jump Bluff. We're having the Bulbasaur one right now with the Jump Row and more of a mini event. And then we've got the Sableye event coming up as well at the end of April. And I wonder how quickly are they going to run these, but also how do they expand it? There's a lot of areas in the game where if you go a little bit further, the map will kind of cloud it out. And I wonder if there'll be an area where they'll make these available suddenly in an expansion, maybe a DLC, maybe just available anyway. But I wonder if they'll do more of a Johto version of Pokopia, a Unova version of Pokopia. I wonder, how many generations of islands and areas could they do of this game? I think there's so much potential, but then it could get tired pretty quick. There's a risk there. There's so many legendaries we could meet. If they bring the different legendaries for different areas, that would be so good. They could do Reshiram and Zekrom coming over because of something. N could have his, there's so many items we could pick up from them, potentially relics from them. Honestly, there is so much potential for Pokopia. I would love a Unova version, because Unova was known a lot more cityscaped, it was a lot more built up, there was so much going on with Unova, it was so unique that I think a Unova version of Pokopia would be my ultimate ideal. There would be so much to unpack, but I wonder how are they going to expand it? They've seen how popular this game is, and there is no secret in how popular this game is. It is everywhere. It is literally everywhere. And I think it's been more popular than potentially they even thought it would be themselves. I think they know it's going to be popular when they kind of produce this. It took 5 years apparently to produce this game. They started it out as something a lot more simple, but they turned it into something that we see today, which is a lot more in depth, a lot more substantial, a lot more hands-on than I think they originally counted it to be. And I wonder, could it be even more community driven? Is it going to be a lot more social? Could it be have an always online kind of style direction as well? There's so much they could do. I've got so many ideas kind of spinning, and I'm interested to see what you guys have as well, and what you guys think that Pokemon Pokopia, so many P's, Pokemon Pokopia could be in the future. I think there's so much they could do with this. I don't want it to become one of those games where if you pay, you get this. If you pay this, you get this. I hate things like that. But I wonder, these events are free, and you've already bought the game, and you've bought the game on a localized system of the Nintendo Switch 2. That console alone is a hefty amount. It's not cheap, and I think they took a risk only releasing it on the Switch 2, and luckily I think that risk has paid off. If you can't afford one, unfortunately, it does run that risk. It's kind of crap from that perspective, but I think it's paid off for them in the long run. I think people have done what they had to do to get the game. But let's dive into Trainer Diary. I spouted what I needed to. But on to other theories about Pokemon Pokopia, and I think this comes from more of what we're seeing with Legends CA and how the TCG is really starting to kind of merge the games with the actual TCG in a more kind of on-the-nose way. We've seen some cards reveal where we see quite literally the game environment in the background. Two new cards have been revealed for the Chaos Rising set, where we see Watchog with Prism Tower, we see Emolga, and we see the kind of the borders of the wild zones, like the green lighting. It's so on the nose, where it's obviously the ZA game in the background, and I wonder whether we'll see a Pokemon Pokopia TCG set. I think that could be awesome. I wonder if I'm surprised actually they haven't done something like it for Pokemon TCG Pocket. because it's digital anyway. I wonder if they would have maybe used that to kind of see how many people open it. Do they go for this kind of thing? But I think they know that we will. I think they know we will anyway. But I wonder could the Pokopia game influence the digital and the physical TCG? I know for a fact, like, I don't collect every set. Right now I'm collecting the Mega Evolution Series 1, the Mega Evolution Series 3, so Mega Evolution and Mega Evolution Perfect Order. I'm finishing my master sets for Scarlet and Violet 9, which is Journey Together, and Black Bolt and White Flare. So I've got a couple of master sets going on at the minute, and I know I'll have them for a while to be able to master them, but I would I would go for a Pokemon Pokopia set. I think it would be so cozy and so cute that it'd be rude not to. I do think it'd be so rude not to collect that one. It'd be so cute. I don't know if it'd be a big set, maybe more of a small set, maybe just like a celebration holiday kind of set, just to kind of commemorate the game. I think potentially we may see that in a year's time to kind of celebrate the 1 year anniversary of Pokopia. I wonder if it'll take a while to create it. The art wouldn't exist for that already. That's not like Pokemon TCG Pocket that kind of reuses the art of the TCG anyway. So I wonder if we'll see something like that in a year's time, where the artists that do work with Pokemon have made these arts for the cards, where we've got a Pokemon set for Pokopia. I don't know how that would fit into the sets. Would it be a Mega Evolution set? There's no Mega Evolution in Pokopia. Ooh, but could that be a thing? Could also that be a thing? That's another theory for you to kind of mull over, to gnaw on. Could that be a thing as well? Who knows? Again, don't know how that'd work, but could you have, like, if you've got an ability, could you learn if you're holding like a Mega Stone, could your leafage be even more powerful? Could, if you got a Blastoise Mega Stone, could your water gun be so much stronger? There's so much they could do actually with that. So it could be part of Mega Evolution if they did that. I'm not sure if they will. It's going to be in a year's time, so we could see another set kind of go on with that. We've seen Scarlet and Violet. We're in the Mega Evolution right now. There could be something else following that, but I think by that time we'll be starting to get into Gen 10 territory. So who knows? They could break the system and they could go for a full standalone set, like on its own. This one for Pokopia, that's it. So they could do something like that. I'm sure it wouldn't be the first time, the lack of researching right now. But I think that could be something. I think that could be something really interesting. I think I'd be really into that, if I'm honest. I'd be really into a little Pokopia set because, yeah, it'd be so cute. So cute. But it feels like Pokemon is slowly connecting everything together with its kind of world as a whole. This is the first time we've interacted solely, really, with the world around Pokemon, not just traveling through them. They're not just spaces where we travel through them, we go to the gym, we catch the Pokemon, we level up and we move on to the next area. These are now areas where we are solely responsible for building the areas and making them what we choose to see fit. I'm interested to see how Pokemon takes that. There is a bit of information gathering there as well. They can see what kinds of areas do Pokemon players create? What do we make as trainers? I think that's something super interesting as like a social experiment there. Without getting too weird with it, I think there's something super interesting of what do we build if we're left to our own devices? What kind of regions do we build? What kind of areas? I'm a ghost type trainer. I love ghost type Pokemon. I love all things spooky, So I'm building more horror, spooky vibes in all of mine. I've got the little nods to horror movies throughout the kind of island that I'm building, and I wonder how that kind of translates into inspiration for them. They're obviously not going to just they're obviously not just going to kind of take the idea and make it into a new series. But I think there's something that they can take from us because, they're there because of us. Pokemon is only as popular as it is because we love it, because we do stuff. We are as loving and committed as we are as fans. I don't think there's as much as a committed fan base as there is for anything else that there is for Pokemon. So I wonder how that will develop. I wonder. I've gone on a right tangent, and I wonder, how does it develop? Is what I'm trying to say. There's so many areas. There's the TCG they could do. There's the events they're already doing. There's new games that are already in the making, like Gen 10. That I wonder, how does that happen when we see Gen 10 release? Pokemon Pokopia will obviously still be a thing. So I wonder, will there be an event where you can get the Gen 10 Pokemon the week of release of Winds and Waves? How does that become a thing? What if they do limited islands? We've seen IKEA, the collaboration with IKEA, which makes sense actually, but it's kind of weird. But I wonder if we'll see something like that in the future as well. I've gone back essentially. This was going to be like the TCG zone, and I've gone straight back into like the main topic of the podcast. So I apologize for that. But I like the live reactions, But I wonder if we'll get like live, limited availability islands where we can go gather as much stuff as you can, come back before the event runs out. Limited islands could be a very, very cool thing. Even that could be something for the regions, I'm not going to keep going on, but Pokemon TCG cards for Pokopia, would you be into it? But let's dive into the hidden ability. Let's start the close up. So this episode has been full of tangents. I was going to say I'm sorry for all the tangents, but I'm not actually, because I think I'm so excited for what this game could be. No Pokemon game for a long time, actually, to be honest, has captured my attention like this game has. I am absolutely taken with it. It has really, really captured my imagination, where we're at as Pokemon fans, and I'm so, so excited to see how this does actually develop. But I think Pokopia might not be the biggest Pokemon game ever. It was very much nearly so. But it could be the most important one because it shows where Pokemon is heading next and where we could potentially see the Pokemon franchise go towards as well. And I'd love to know what you guys think. Are you excited for the new developments of Pokopia, the new events? I'm excited for the Sableye event for sure. I'm definitely excited for the Sableye event. I think that looks super cute. There's some things in there that I think will fit really, really well in some areas of my island. Some I'm going to have to make multiple copies of, but awesome. But I'd love to know what you guys think. Are you also is it 2 months in? 2 months in, are you still loving Pokopia? Is it still a vibe for you? What are you guys doing on your islands? If you follow me on Instagram or TikTok, please do share your photos. I'd love to see what you guys are doing. If you haven't already, please do hit that subscribe button. It really does mean a lot to see the subscriber numbers go up, see you guys interacting. And if you know any other Pokemon fans that will think they'd love this episode or they'd love to hear this guy talk for half an hour, share it with them too, because it really does mean a lot. I'm sat here in my office surrounded by Pokemon stuff, talking about Pokemon to a microphone to my laptop, essentially otherwise. So thank you for any share in the future. I am Chibi Trainer, also known as Ryan, but Chibi Trainer on Instagram and TikTok, so do go check me out. If you do want a 10% off your Vault X binder orders or accessories for TCGs, do use code ChibiWeeb at the checkout, so CHIBIWEEB, and you'll get 10% off your entire order, and you can use that as many times as you like. So get yourself some accessories for your TCG with ChibiWeeb 10% off code. Thank you so much, guys, and I'll see you on the next episode of the Chibi Trainer Pokémon Podcast. I've been Ryan, your host. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you later. Bye-bye.
Free audio post-production by alphonic.com.